Hello, I'm Josh George. Today I'll be doing my Big 12 breakdown. I'm going to go 10 to 1, the top two teams play for the conference championship. Now, coming in at 10th, I have the Kansas Jayhawks. They have Pooka Williams, who I think is one of the top 3 running backs in the Big 12. Now, they also added a new head coach, Les Miles, and he has 142 and 55 overall, and I think he's one of the best recruiting coaches in all of college football. With that said, I have Kansas at 3-9, 1-8 in conference play. Ninth, I have Texas Tech. Matt Wells, he could be a really good coach, but Texas Tech is just a hard place to win, even for good coaches. Cliff Kingsbury struggled with it. Tommy Tuberville struggled there, and Mike Leach didn't do super great there. I mean, he probably did the best of anybody, but I have Texas Tech coming in at 4-8 and 2-7 in conference play. Now, to 8th, I have Baylor. Baylor has a good offense. They'll have one of the best offenses in all of the Big 12. They have 8 starters coming back, including Charlie Brewer. Their problem is their defense. Their defense was 91st in total defense last season. That's why I have Baylor at 8th, and I have them sitting at 6-6 and 3-6 in conference play. Now at 7th, a team that I think might be a little underrated this season, Oklahoma State, OSU, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Now, they have Chuba Hubbard, who's their star running back. I think he's going to become a great running back this year. I think he's one of those top 3 running backs in the Big 12. Now, they also have the best wide receiver in the Big 12, in my opinion, in Ty Waltulus. And Ty, I think he really is the best wide receiver in the Big 12. And that offense is just going to be going. They may run more plays than any other team in the Big 12 because Mike Gundy just likes to go fast, man. I have Oklahoma State at 7-5 and 4-5 in conference play. At 6th, I have West Virginia. They added Nate Brown as their new head coach. He was offensive coordinator at Kentucky, running the Kentucky Air Raid, and he was head coach of Troy when they beat LSU a few years back. Now, the biggest concern for this team, Austin Kendall. He's never looked good under the lights, in my opinion. He's never looked good getting game snaps. That's why I have West Virginia coming in at 6-6 with a 4-5 record in conference play. Then I have TCU at 5th. TCU has one of the best, if not the best, quarterback battle in the Big 12. Matt Baldwin transferred from Ohio State to play here. Alex Delton transferred from Kansas State to play here, and they bring in true freshman Matt Dungy. So who knows who will get the nod? I think either way, Gary Patterson is going to be okay. He's definitely got a good quarterback on the roster this season. I think he can find a guy. The question is injuries and their defense. For that reason, I have TCU at 8-4, 5-4 in conference play. Now, at 4th, I have the Kansas State Wildcats. Kansas State are one of the teams that also add a new head coach in the Big 12 in Chris Kilman. Chris Kilman came in from North Dakota State, did awesome there. The question is, what's he going to do with the Wildcat team? He's got a lot of experience. He's got 11 senior starters that he's announced, that he's said that are going to start, and that could play a lot of guys. And when you look at their roster, they're one of the oldest teams in the Big 12, most experienced. And I think that they could really be a big team and kind of a dark horse to get to that conference championship game. I have them at 7-5 and 5-4 in conference play. Then, the team I have third, that would be the Texas Longhorns. Texas has the top-ranked quarterback in the Big 12 in Sam Ehlinger. I think he's going to be a real good star. Now, they have only 3 starters returning on defense, but they have the best 2 safeties on defense in Jones and Stern. So those guys could be really good, but do they have the pieces around them, that's a question mark. Now, this Texas team is 27-24 in the past 4 seasons. 28 of those games have been within a touchdown, so they're a team that plays a lot of close games, and that's why I have them coming in at 3rd in the division, because if you lose some of the close games, then you might wind up at 3rd instead of 2nd in the division. Now, their record, I have them at 9-3, yes, and 6-3 in conference play. Yes, I have them going undefeated in the non-conference for the first time since 2012. Now, to 2nd in the conference, I have Iowa State. Iowa State has Brock Purdy back at quarterback, and Matt Campbell has an experienced team for one of the first times ever. They have 8 starters coming back on offense. This could be a really good offense, and they play a lot of good teams really, really good. I have Iowa State at 9-3, 6-3 in conference play. Now, I have Oklahoma coming in 1st in the Big 12 regular season standings. The reason for that is they were 1st in total offense and 1st in points per game, but their defense was 114th in yards allowed last season. Will Alex Grinch remedy this for the Sooners? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get in the top 50 in defense, but I think with the starters they're coming back, even though 80% of their offensive line from last season is in the NFL, I think Bill Beanbo is the best offensive line coach in college football, and I'm not worried about the offensive line. Jalen Hurts only lost 2 games at Alabama and comes here to replace Kyler Murray, and I think he'll do a fine job. I think the offense will stay where it is, and if the defense improves a little, this team will be very, very, very hard to beat, and they have a really good schedule. They don't go to Ames, they don't have to go to West Virginia, which is a hard place to win, or Texas Tech, which are hard places to win. I think their hardest road game might be Baylor. If they didn't have such a good record in Bedlam against Oklahoma State, I'd say that would be a very tough game to win. But I have this team at 12-0 and 9-0 in conference play. Now, in the conference championship, this pits Iowa State and Oklahoma. Will Iowa State be up to the big stage? I think Iowa State's a team that could very well beat Oklahoma. I think they have the most physical defense in the Big 12, which could pose a problem to Oklahoma. But Oklahoma's a team that have won 4 conference championships in a row and are used to the stage. For that reason, I'm picking Oklahoma to go 13-0 and win the Big 12. I have Iowa State falling to 9-4 after the conference championship. I'm Josh George. This was your Big 12 Breakdown.